I lost my voice on the Elkins hour last night because we had a 2.5 hour podcast.
It was late too, wasn't it?
It was late, yeah. I'm surprised Chad was. Although I could see where. Well, you've had busy season. You remember giving it the old college try and busting your ass off and all that, and then after a 16-hour day of work, it's like, yeah, I guess you should go to bed. But I wonder if the human mind is like, dude, I just gotta like talk to somebody or be social, like it's some token necessary amount of social activity. And so I was kind of surprised how late Chad was on because he's on Central and I'm over on Western.
Yeah.
Pacific rather. And we thought we made these record number of super chats. And we're like, oh yeah, it's at least $150, $200. Then I look at the amount that came in because I got to pay out Chad, when he consults, I got to pay him his share. And it was something like we made $70. I'm like, what the hell cut did Google just take? And so then I went back. I'm rushing because I had the dentist and now I'm here. So I went back to the video and you have to kind of go back and you can't just look up super chats. So I'm calculating them and adding them up. And I realized we had a ton of super chats. They were all like $1.20 or $2. It did add up to like 103. And then our 30% cut, or I'm sorry, 70% cut is only 71. I'm like, wah, 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 bah.
You were like the deadliest catch where you're on just a little bit of crab. The pots aren't full. And you just got to keep on fishing. You got to keep on going. Got to keep on collecting those little amounts so that they add up.
Wish I knew what in hell's name you were talking about.
Deadliest catch. I've mentioned it before. The deadliest.
I know you've mentioned it before, but do you think I actually watch?
No, I
big
don't.
Fat dopey white guys on a boat?
Hey, you would like them. They work their asses off.
I'm sure they do.
They work their asses off.
I'm sure Jessup and Jebediah and Frankie all go out and they dramatize it. And I know the crab don't bite in the afternoon on the sunset. My dad lost his tip of his penis to a crab one time. He hunted him down, and I'm sure.
Don't knock it till you try it. Don't knock it till you try it.
The only time it is acceptable. And I'm finding this more and more as I get older. The only time I think it is acceptable to watch TV is on a day like today for all you poor suckers stuck up in the northern
I was just going to check here. Let's see. So you're in Vegas, right?
I am in a balmy, it was 65 today. I don't know if it's 65 anymore. The sun just went down. So it may only be 60 or 61.
Let's see. According to Google, it is 63 right now. In Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right. It's 63 still. All right, good.
And where I am at.
You saps. Suckers.
That was 63. So it is 84 degrees warmer in Las Vegas. It's negative 21 right now.
And you got Keith Ellison's dick in your ass.
Yes,
that's what's great. That's the insult to injury.
And the Ilan Omar, or whatever the hell her name is, the national embarrassment that she's turned out to be.
No, she's not a national embarrassment. Everybody loves her. Just like Ocasio-Cortez. You got the nation is at least 52% retards right now.
Right.
Yeah, they don't care. They're not capable of shame.
Did you just light up a cigar?
No, I got these. Hang on. I'll explain here in a second. Give me a second. There it. Okay, there it goes. It's this essential oil stuff. You ever hear of this crap?
You're smoking essential oils? What?
No. Have you heard of essential oils?
Yes, I have, of course. Yeah.
Okay, so the GF is into these things.
All right.
Her mom is also into it. My mom thinks this is going to be a retirement plan. This is the 401k. Because, you see, why invest in a fucking 401k over 65 years of life when you are guaranteed to have a posh, luxurious retirement plan with selling fucking essential oils, right. DT?
Right, yeah, so, get on that essential oil gold mine.
Bandwagon, yeah, right. So the GF came home with these things. And you got to be on women, DT. You got to be on women. They will piss through fucking money if you don't keep your eye on them. They'll vote Democrat. Hey, it's YOLO. I mean, whatever. They'll come up with an excuse.
You know when they don't piss away money?
I don't know. When they're pregnant and laid up giving birth, that's about the only time. And even then, they're incurring costs. When don't they piss away money?
when they are the sole breadwinner for your family. They learn real quick.
Yeah. You know when they also become really good with their money? When you say, I won't be with you if you don't get good with your money. And they actually like you. That's the other thing. It's like you're getting rid.
It's that second part of that statement. That's the key, I think.
That's the key. Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember telling the GF, I'm like, you're getting rid of that Beamer or we're not together. There's no debt, there's no Beamer, and it's gone or you're gone. And not that we're even really dating that much. I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna. Although my reputation preceded me, I think everybody kind of knew that within the group of female friends and my group of friends that many years ago, they kind of knew when they'd like, let's go visit Clary in his basement apartment. And we'd all hop in the 85 Gutless Cutlass Supreme or the much more updated 89 Chevy Caprice Classic. I think the women knew that if you were expecting a free ride or a sugar daddy, I would not be it. I think there was no false advertising there.
That they saw you in your natural habitat is what you're saying.
Yeah. And I'll grant the women of the 90s at least this much. They would have sex and give it up. And there was some fun times. There were some good times. Good times. And in all fairness to, I'd say the majority of the women I dated, they would try to offer to go Dutch. They at least temporarily did not care about what car I drove. And they didn't care that I lived in a basement. They went out. A fair amount of them had sex. But I don't think a single one of them would have married me. Because it was kind of like I was the fun toy. Like I was the fun guy. He dances. He drives around. He hikes. He does those things. I'm the fun guy. But the fuck if you want to marry him and live in a basement, especially if he doesn't want to have kids. So I was not husband material, but I was fun guy material back in the day.
Basement living in Minnesota.
Dude, I got laid more in basements than any other place, man. More in basements than any other place.
Basements are very soundproof.
They're also cheap places to live if you can't afford to live above ground. I was never an above ground person until like 2006, 2007. Then I was living big and large, man. Then I was living large. I was above ground. I had my own place. No tenants, no roommates.
Old movie back then, back in the 80s called Chud.
Why does that sound familiar?
.u.d. It's in whatever acronym. And it stands for Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers. But I wonder if we can turn that into like Clary something underground dweller. What would be the H? You were a Chud. You were a Clary.
Clary.
Something. I can't think of one. Shouldn't have started down the path until I came up with the H.
Nah, it doesn't matter. So anyway, so the GF brings back a bunch of these, a box. And I mean, like, what's in the box? Oh, yeah, just some oils. Okay. I know how frankincense and myrrh works. What do you mean oils? What's this oil shit? You got enough fucking crap downstairs in your beauty department, the bathroom where the girls have all their
how many bottles of moisturizer would you estimate?
My girlfriend?
Yeah.
Oh, only one.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. No. She's gone. No. Many years ago, it's kind of, imagine we defeated the Germans and the Japanese after World War II, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're 1945. This is 1955. Okay. So it's like 10 years later. There's this big battle. And now the Japanese and the Germans are very well behaved. They're doing exactly what they're doing. They're quickly becoming first world nations. But there's still that level of distrust. Like you didn't forget World War II. Like, wait, is there a wolf pack up in the mountains of Bavaria that still does the funny salute to the guy with the funny mustache? And the Japanese, like, is that a Shinto temple that you guys think you're going to go and take over the Pacific? So I'm honed to that. Anytime I see something coming, I'm like, wait, because the battle was 15 years ago where you got that talk. Here's where you have to be in order for us to go forward financially. We're not buying fancy luxury cars. We're not living in fancy luxury apartments. We're owning instead of leasing property. Here's where we're going. And if you don't like it, that's perfectly fine. You're a comely lady. You can find a dopey middle-aged 50-year-old to piss away his 401k pension on you, and you can temper. Or we go the Clary route, which is, you know, motorcycles and this and that. Blah, blah. But that was 15 years ago. The battle had been fought. And there was
the key to that is just one bottle of moisturizer. So
yeah, but and plus you've been in my place. It's not that big, you know. You gotta, it's like, no, we gotta get rid of all this crap. And if you want to live here, that's what. So I won the battle, but you still gotta be on it.
That is a huge win. I mean, I can't even estimate how many bottles of moisturizer are over here. And somehow when my hands get all dry in this 21 below zero cold, I can't find a bottle of moisturizer.
Well, I didn't realize how good I did in my battles. And I hate to say getting concessions. It's not concessions. Like, these are the standards. If you don't like it, bye, go away. And all these guys, older people, you know, like my dad's age, baby boomers, and even guys married our age, who like, they can't believe the GF lets me go ride motorcycles. They can't believe that she lets me go hiking all the time. They can't believe that I got her to get rid of her crappy luxury car. They can't believe she has no debt. They can't believe. I'm like, have you ever tried growing a penis and telling your wife or significant other no?
See, I can believe all that, but I can't believe the one bottle of moisturizer. I can't get past that one. They're cheap, but it's like, it's so easy.
You got a whole family.
No, I know.
No, that's kind of, it's one of everything. Hey, if it was still up to me back in my day, I had one fork, one spoon, one bowl, one knife. You know, that's all I needed. And if it was up to me and I was to be a total dictator, we'd have now 2 bowls, 2 forks, 2 spoons. You know, I'd like,
2 glasses.
I'll acquiesce on that. I'll let you have some dishes, you know, in case there's that one every 500 days people come over and we have company to eat.
Right.
Exactly. But otherwise, in the 15 years the GF and I have been together, 99.8% of our meals have been just with 2 forks, 2 plates, 2 knives, and 2 bowls, because there's only 2 of us eating.
Right.
So
that's pretty amazing, though. Pretty amazing.
It is. No. And I found out, you know, down the road. So she comes walking in with this box, and I'm like, price already, real estate already comes at a premium in my small house. So I'm like, what is that? You know, what is this shit you're bringing into my house?
How big was the box?
Oh, 10 inches by 4 inches by 3 inches deep. No, man, I'm on it.
So a couple plates stacked on each other, basically.
If that even.
Yeah, right. Okay.
No, it's like you got to be a commandant of a, you know, Stalag 17, you know, looking for contraband all the time. And you could just tell her body language changed. Where I'm like, I got her. Oh, she's guilty about something. Well, they're just oils. What do you mean just oils? Well, they're organic. No, not organic. Essential oils.
They're probably organic too. Yeah.
Well, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. It's shit that shouldn't be in my house. So she then explains to me how her mommy's using this for a retirement plan, because of course you would. And they're nice and they're organic. She's going to use them.
Oh, so she went to one of those like Tupperware parties, basically.
I guess it's kind of like, where they had wine parties, but I don't know. I'm sure there's a multi-level marketing thing, and you can make money on it. I'm not saying. And so I was like, all right, you know, I'm not going to begrudge you your oils. And then I found out, okay, some of them actually work. You know, this constant cough I have, if I'm on it, there's like oregano oil and some lemon oil. You mix it, it works. And because this is getting back to the podcasting for 2 hours, I kind of lost my voice. My cough is coming back. And she got me these peppermint beadlet oils. And so I grabbed those, and those actually do a pretty good job. And that's what you heard. That was just me opening up the bottle. It wasn't me lighting a cigar.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you can write that off because it's a part of your podcast. Right?
Dude, I actually could. I could write it off.
Yeah.
I had that Cepacol spray. No, Banaka. Remember Banaka?
Yes.
And the challenge or the test was you'd spray it underneath your tongue. You see if you could do that in middle school.
Right. Yep. Oh yeah.
So I would
It's
write
a cool
off.
little bottle, and it's like aerosol, or yeah, it's an aerosol bottle, right? Where
Yeah, I think it was incredibly flammable too.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's right.
You guys missed out in the 80s and 90s. Good times we had. And you could bring it to school along with a pocket knife and everything. And the vaginas of the education world wouldn't get sand in themselves. And so the Banaka, I used that when I taught dance class. I was doing finance seminars because I would lose my voice. And now it's kind of the same thing. I'm doing, talking and podcasting and asshole consulting. So I do get these peppers. So I was I was wrong. I was suspicious at first about these oils, but they are actually practical and they do work. Not that I advise you all go buy them, but it had all the writings. What's that?
You consume them? All of them are
no.
They're not like body oils or ones for bath or whatever. They're all.
Well, this is the thing. I wish they bring back the Mr. Yuck stickers. Because some of them can actually fuck you up if you ingest them. Like, you're not supposed to. Good Christ, don't drink the lavender. There was one of them. I'm like, hey, babe, would this go well with my coffee or my tea? She's like, what is it? I don't know what it was. Echinacea or something. Like, oh, no, don't put it. No, that's not edible. You can't eat that one. So I'm not going to raid her oil cabinet anytime soon. But I know the peppermint you could consume. And then the oregano you could consume. And the lemon you can consume. The grapefruit you could consume, but I don't know about the rest. That I just kind of leave and like I really ask, hey, can I consume this? And she's like, oh yeah, you can. Oh, good Christ, no, don't consume that.
So they're not all tax deductible then.
No, they're not. If I bought it myself, yeah, but and this shit is expensive, man. It's expensive. This bottle right here, I think, is $20, and it's the size of a large tube of chapstick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you girls wonder why you got debt. I really,
Well, it's like the guy equivalent would be what Dave's
sports car
death sauce or whatever. What is it called? The after death sauce, where it's like a really concentrated, spicy sauce, and you're only supposed to put like a drop in your chili or it'll like kill you.
I've never heard of that.
Well, you haven't? I think it's called after death sauce.
Oh, well, okay.
There's warnings all over it because it's got such a high concentration of that capsicum or whatever it's called that is the spicy, what makes things spicy.
Well, I don't think this is the equivalent. There's not like millions of men running across America trying to sneak death sauce.
No, that's true.
Underneath, and they're not spending hundreds of dollars. I mean, let's look it up. What does a bottle of death sauce cost?
I think it's called Dave's After Death Sauce. That's at least when I was in college. That was what it was called.
Oh, and this is going way back.
Yeah, so it might not exist anymore, but we
Blair's
put a little
After Death Sauce. It's called Blair's After Death.
Blair's now?
Sauce.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was right about the after death anyway.
Yeah.
And we gave one. My roommate had a dog, and we took a little toothpick and
really,
yes,
really.
I didn't do it. Wow. I did not do this, but somebody put a little toothpick, just a little drops worth, and here you go, boy. Lick the toothpick, and the dog's just
poor dog.
It didn't last very long. It did not last very long.
$10. It's $10.
But it's really small, right? I mean, it's probably really.
I don't know. Look on the per ounce base. No one is. Not one kid's 529 plan had missed a funding payment or has been shortchanged because of Blair's after death sauce.
After death sauce.
I guarantee you there are millions of dollars worth shorted out of their children's college fund because of this damn essential oil stuff. And I even say some of it works.
Right.
But the level, like, oh my God, it's almost a cult. I was watching a video on it, like, because now you got essential oil experts and they all got their fucking YouTube channels and their thing and this. Because why listen to the Clary podcast about frugality and consultants, advisors, they're influencers. They're organic oil influencers. They're
that own their own business. Yeah.
If you call it that, and this is assuming hubby ain't this is assuming it ain't coma money.
Yeah, coma money.
Yeah, exactly. He's assuming that she's actually or he's actually making, because one of the guys I saw, he's like, Well, and they mix this almost like witch's brew. They start mixing it together. Well, 3 drops of oregano and 2 drops of chrysalis will get you this. But then I like to be, and it helps with this mood. And then I swear to God, I want to find this guy. I want to find him, DT. I want to punch him right in the face. Because he says, and this combination helps with forgiveness. This is I think he was a pastor, and like, hey, how can I snooker more dopes out of their money? Because
this is like Wiccan. It's like
no,
Wiccan
no, I
stuff.
think he was a Christian dude.
Really? Okay.
Christian pastor, yeah, which becomes more and more diluted as time goes on. So he's
with forgiveness.
Yeah, some
dead blood. Is the blood of Christ in there too, or
no? Jesus in hell and fire and brimstone and being a good person and the 10 Commandments. The Old Testament never makes it into Christianity nowadays. It's all you're forgiven. Yeah, you get a car and you get a car and you get a car. I think this was, hey, I've made money. Borderline televangelist, like let's make money off of these dopey Christians. And I'm going to sell essential oil. So this helps with forgiveness. I'm like, I should have looked him up to look up what a douche he is. But yeah, so it's been taken to its.
Well, how would you market
essential absurdity? What
you could sell essential oils and
what
basically say they'll help with debt and they'll help with discipline. You know, this essential oil will help you with discipline.
I get a hard enough time trying to get these dumbass kids to buy a book that's going to keep them out of debt and not cripple themselves financially for the rest of their lives. You think I can sell them oils? You think I can?
I think that would I bet you that would sell more, right?
Who knows?
If you marketed oils to get out of debt and like all the problems that people have, and if they just take these oils, it'll help. Okay. And just come up with some bullshit reason, right?
So not in conjunction with my current line of products.
No, yeah, you do it separately. Yeah.
This could possibly be part of Operation Evil.
Exactly.
This oil will help you with being a fat virgin towel. This oil will help you find a rich, good-looking, tall man who's an investment banker. Yep. But if you want the investment banker, you had to add a little bit of echinacea. And then
Right. Yeah.
Yep. What the fuck is echinacea anyway?
It's I think it's like a weed or something.
Oh God.
And they proved a long time ago that echinacea does nothing for colds.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Apparently it can change my oil too, but every time I had to like, this was another battle. Like this would be, if we're going back to the World War II analogy, this would be kind of like, this is a big battle back in the day, establishing who would rule post World War II. This would be like the battle of, I wouldn't say Iwo Jima, but Guam. It was a pretty important battle. Get us some bases that land off. It was to not convince the GF that echinacea had no value. I don't care if it makes you feel better. You think it makes you feel, go ahead and do it. It was to get her to stop asking me or saying, you should take some echinacea.
When you were sick or whatever.
When I was sick or I had flatulence, if I got a paper cut, everything was the solution to everything at the time was echinacea. And I'm like, if you say echinacea one more fucking time, I'm going to hunt down. There weren't even babies and nieces at that time. But it wasn't but it was, swear to God, I'll push you off a fucking cliff. Don't ask me about the fucking echinacea again. Yeah. And so now but she takes it. And she's in better health than me. So I whatever works, man, go for it. I'm very libertarian that way.
Right. So she bought some stuff from her mom, who is now a consultant for essential oils.
Maybe, I don't know.
One of my family members sells clothes. I can't remember. They're really expensive too.
Clothes or cloves?
Clothes with TH. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because that's not offered at Walmart.
I know. I was just gonna say, is there anything even equivalent that guys do? I mean, it's not like we have fishing lure parties or anything. You know, I mean, it's like, no. Is there anything at all that is even close to like that guys do?
No, there's an element of I don't want to say cult, but club level familial belonging. And almost a pseudoscience, so you could kind of seem like you're being smart or intelligent. And even then, I'm trying to come up with another instance of essential oils that women do.
If a guy held a party and invited a bunch of people over to sell stuff to his friends, he'd get punched in the mouth.
Right. Because we're like, it's like, dude, we got stores for that shit. Yeah.
What? You're supposed to like buy beer and give us beer. And I mean, that's what the party is, right? Not us buying beer from you or buying something else. I mean, that would be the closest would be, hey, come on over. We'll have a beer party and you're buying beer from your friend.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense to a guy because the guy would be like, I can go to the store and get beer, you jackass. I think men have the same thing with like cigar tastings or scotch tastings, or maybe when guys go to the auto show, you know, they kind of go there to look at the old cars. But and I could say there's gotta be something equivalent because we don't want to fall into the trap always think, oh, look at women and their dumbass shit. And I'm like, really? Look at guys in their dumbass shit buying fucking sports cars they can't afford and this and that. But the come on over and let me sell you something shit. Yeah, I don't see guys doing that. No,
maybe like the closest would be a poker party, right?
But you're playing poker and having fun.
I know, but I mean, I'm sure there are guys that invite their friend that really sucks at poker, so they all get money off of him.
Well, right? Yeah, you're gonna invite that guy. Yeah,
that would be
my guy. My guy's name is Richard, and I know he listens. That's why I got to mention his name. Yeah, everybody needs a Richard at their poker party. Sure.
Right. So that's the equivalent, I would say.
No, because
but it's like they've got a chance. It's like women invite their friends over to guilt them into buying shit they don't need from them, right? That's we're having fun, or here, buy this, and you're always thinking, well, it's helping out, blah blah blah. She's having trouble paying the bills.
Tina just made stupid decisions. She doesn't understand how eggs and sperm work, and so I think buying a bottle and a half of this rosé will help her and all of her. It'll solve her $250,000 debt problem.
Right. Exactly. But guys inviting people over to play poker, it's like you don't know for sure that you're going to get money from them. No, right? They've got a chance.
No, but you usually got a first, second, and third pot.
Yeah.
And it's statistic. You're not helping out any one designated guy. About the only thing I could think of that's as dumb or banal as having these, wine parties or whatever, would be the Super Bowl. And the reason I say like Super Bowl parties or sports parties in general, and like, come on over, let's watch the game. And the reason why is where you're saying, oh, this oil helps with forgiveness, or smell the subtle tones, the floral notes, or the oaky smell, and do you taste that in the coppery finish? And it's like, shut up, you're not a pro. This isn't a real science. Therefore, I would have likened that or akin that to a Super Bowl party where you got a bunch of dopes watching the game. Oh, he should have done that. Oh, yeah. It's like, dude,
analyzing it.
Dude, motherfucker, are you a $10 million a year tight end for the Denver Broncos? No, you aren't. Well, shut the fuck up, because I'm sorry. Have you been playing since you were 17 and went to college on a football scholarship and got drafted in the second round? You didn't? Well, why you take your fucking big ass gut that hangs over your penis you got to lift up with a little crane so you can take a piss? Why don't you shut the fuck up? So I think that would be they should have draft parties. There you go. Fantasy football. We nailed it.
Yeah, there we go.
There it is. There it is.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. There we go. We figured it out. Yeah. That's the male equivalent.
It's sort of related to the poker party, but even worse, I would say.
It's at least the game. There's a line of logic. You could watch the game and there's some entertainment value, but fantasy, whatever, baseball, basketball, football. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. That's what we should do. We'll get the wine party and the whatever other shit chicks sell, those chicks, and we'll have them match up with the fantasy sports ball boys and girls, and they can breed and have really stupid kids.
Hey, we've got our equivalent in. Speaking of football, this just occurred to me. You know how women are always like, oh, look at that woman that's 50 years old or whatever and got pregnant and had kids. And see, it shows that we can do anything. Or look at that really hot, 60-year-old. See, we still got it when we're old. All those things. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but the rest of you don't.
Yeah, that women do that all the time, right? They'll point to somebody that's just like a genetic freak or whatever and say,
Margaret.
well, yeah, exactly. We've got Tom Brady now, speaking of football.
But no guy in the history of guys has ever said, see, look at that.
I know, but wouldn't it be fun? We should do it just to turn it around on him. That'd be hilarious. Because Tom Brady's the guy, right? He's the guy. 42 years old. He's still, he's going to the Super Bowl. He's got the smoking hot wife. He's got a great family, good morals, all that kind of thing. See, look. We can all be Tom Brady.
But the problem
I don't know what it would solve. It would work. It wouldn't do anything, but it would be completely, it's the same equivalent for what women do.
The way to shoot it down on both ends is like, okay, start hitting the gym.
Mm-hmm.
And you go, look at Aunt Margaret. She's hot. It's like, okay, start hitting the gym.
Right.
Well,
right.
Hey, see Tom Brady. Okay, start hitting the gym. Learn to throw a ball. Let's go. Again, this is for the normies, conformies, and inferiors. Let the wine party girls marry and date the fantasy sports ball guys, and they can breed really stupid people.
Can you imagine how much ridicule would come guys' way if they did use that same logic that women use? It would be just hilarious. It's like a knowing wink that we know exactly what we're doing and saying, I'm like Tom Brady or whatever. You got your big fucking gut hanging out.
Yeah, but that's called trolling because we're doing it to get a rise out of the chicks. Yeah. I mean, look, Sean Connery was really hot well into his 60s. I could be Sean Connery.
Yeah, of course.
Well, you got to hit the gym.
You go, guy.
Yeah, you go, guy. Me too. Yeah, whatever the hashtag. The problem, the reason it only works one way, and it would have to be trolling on the men's part, is because we don't believe that bullshit in half a second. I believe it or not, DT, I don't think I could be Tom Brady.
Right.
I don't think I could be whoever the hell. I can't be the middle school quarterback. Well, maybe I could be the middle school quarterback. I'm not too bad at football, but the high school quarterbacks or whatever at the main schools, no, not even close. Nowhere near. Nope.
I can barely be me. Right?
Yeah.
I can just barely be myself.
Jesus. I barely made it to the bathroom one time. I ate some bad food. It's tough. It's
so I think, yeah. I mean, obviously you're right. 100%, but I'm cheering for Tom Brady. 40-year-old.
Oh, hell yeah.
40-year-olds unite.
Who's it even other? I didn't even know who was in it until yesterday. Who are they going up against?
I think it's the Rams, I think.
Okay. Fuck the Rams. You know why I want Tom Brady to win?
Why?
Because picture-wise, I don't know what his politics are, but picture-wise, he's everything all the leftists hate about America. He's white, he's successful, he's good-looking, he's got a hot wife, he's already dominated. I mean, it's just, that's the guy you want to win if you want to piss off the left, because I don't think most leftists are even give a damn about the football anymore, frankly, but that there's nothing more American. Fuck the name, the Patriots. Holy shit. How can you, he's just Mr. Good old American boy. And,
well, Harry Potter just, I don't know, yelled at him or whatever on Twitter.
Daniel Radcliffe?
Yes, for having
the actor, the soy boy little.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
why? Who's in Britain? Who's in fucking Britain? What who the fuck is this?
So, because Tom Brady's got a MAGA hat in his locker.
Oh, does he? Oh, I guess he is. Yeah. Okay, then. Oh well, I guess Tom Brady feels real bad because in like the first 5 minutes of the Super Bowl, he'll make more money than Daniel Radcliffe ever made in his entire movie career.
Go wave your wand, Harry.
Go wave your wand, Harry. God Almighty!
It's so pathetic. It's just. Hey, speaking of patheticness, I wanted to talk about your article.
Let's do this. Let's do a little bit of house cleaning, so I don't. Sure. Yeah, let's get this out because I knew you wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get the sponsors out of the way. The Older Brother Podcast is brought to you by All My Fucking Books. It's called All My Fucking Books. You can find them on Amazon. Because this is the Older Brother Podcast, these books I found basically, they're meant to help younger people, right, DT?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to write books for baby boomers because, one, they're not going to listen, and two, it's too late for them. But if you happen to be a younger brother or sister out there,
hey, it's never too late. I mean, look at Tom Brady. It's not too late.
Right. It's not too late.
It's not too late to turn your life around.
45. He's got it going on.
Yeah, I mean, you could win the Super Bowl.
He's amazing, and he's so brave, DT. He is so brave.
Yeah.
Going out there making millions. I mean, if he can do it, anyone can do it.
Anyone can. It's never too late.
If Angela Merkel, who married no, that's the president of Germany. Who married Prince Henry or Harry?
Oh God, what's her name? Yeah, Meghan something.
Meghan Merkel.
Yeah.
If she can find a prince, you can find your prince too.
Exactly.
Good. I'm gonna wait here for my 28-year-old Anne Margaret. All of you guys out there can get your 28-year-old Anne Margaret. If you younger brothers and sisters don't know who Anne Margaret is, look up Anne Margaret, like 1965, 68, would you say?
I mean, Anne Margaret's been hot forever, basically.
Well, I know, but I'm not going to go bang. What is she, 81 now? I'm not going to bang Anne Margaret. Now, if a 28-year-old Anne Margaret came knocking at my door.
Then you could say you banged Anne Margaret, though.
I would like to say I kissed Anne Margaret. I got a kiss from Anne Margaret. I'll take that, or a kiss from Sophia Loren, or a kiss, maybe a little bit more from Jennifer Aniston. I'll still,
Jennifer Aniston, forget about it.
She could give me a hug too. I think I'll take a kiss and a hug. And you know what? The kiss doesn't have to be on the cheek, DT. I will allow Jennifer Aniston to kiss me right on the lips.
Just there?
I would give her, I'd go and create a pass, like an actual pass, made of plastic, like you get a corporate pass, and give it to her, pass, a full access grant pass to Aaron Clary, whatever you want, right?
There was that episode of Friends where they laminated their list of people they could sleep with, and it would be considered cheating. Yep. Jennifer Aniston,
I don't remember that
list, man. Yeah.
No. I'm leaning more towards Ava Mendes. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So my books, Reconnaissance Man, absolute must for every high schooler to read and college kid. Black Man's Guide to Poverty, absolute must for every black gentleman out there who wants to get out of poverty. Bachelor Pad Economics, absolute must for any man of any age. It's one of the rare ones that kind of transcends generations. Worthless, the young person's indispensable guide to choosing the right major. Absolute must for every, should be mandatory high school reading, but it never will be. Why, DT?
Which one is not mandatory?
Well, none of them are ever going to be mandatory.
But Worthless is not mandatory because it's mainly for young people to not get into debt in college and pick worthless degrees, right?
Yes, but why will it never be mandated that young students in high school read it?
Oh, because, I mean, forget about it. I mean, it would destroy the whole...
The left would be destroyed.
Educational complex.
Yeah. You kids would actually have money. Then you'd be able to afford houses, maybe go have families or travel and enjoy life. Right. Enjoy the Decline. That transcends all ages. Curse of the High IQ. That's for everybody listening here, regardless of age. Poor Richard's Retirement. That is the book you need to read on how to save for retirement. And if you've already bought them or read them, please review them online. That does actually help out. And do leave an honest review. Don't just give all 5s unless you actually thought it was deserving of a 5. Then we have another book of mine, Love Letters to the Left. That is merely the best of compilation of my blog posts the past 2 years. And there's also Captain Capitalism Top Shelf and Captain Capitalism Reserve. Those are the previous 2 compilations of my blog's best posts. You can find those online. And I changed up the covers to include some classy comic book style pinup art, or that classy 50s type of pinup art.
I'll have to. My favorite one is the one in the bunny suit.
Bunny suit. Oh, that one. Yeah.
Reserved, I think. Is that the one?
That that reserved? One is what's his name? Figo. Figo did that one. And he's a younger artist, so they kind of like that more modern day Japanese anime kind of thing. But he did a real good job on that. They all did a real good job.
I used to draw comic book style. I probably still could if I practiced again, but
yeah, but you won't because you got a job and you betrayed the self-employed race.
Yeah.
So anyway, Love Letters to the Left just happens to be the latest one. You could find that online, all paperback and Kindle. Also, other people's books, Pushing Rubber Downhill by our good friend Adam Piggott. You can go to his website, pushingrubberdownhill.com. He also has another book out called Run Guts Pull Cones. And then Randall Bentwick's book, The Pence Principle. I would say that's another one you absolutely must read so that you don't end up getting accused of rape you didn't commit and having your entire life ruined. It's a short book. I think it's $10 for whatever, and then $4 or $5 on Kindle. Boys, please go read that book and heed the advice therein, so you don't end up losing your life. Thank God Kavanaugh made it, eh?
40 years later. It's not
40 years later.
It's not like, I mean, this is not like it was the next week or something.
Never.
40,
no.
This is 40 fucking years later. So this is like a big time investment to be able to understand what you need to do to make sure that something 40 years later doesn't destroy your life.
So The Pence Principle, that's paperback, audio, and Kindle on Amazon.com. TheMen'sAdvocate.net. It is an advocate for men who've gone through divorce or currently going through divorce. Check it out. TheMen'sAdvocate.net. OrionsColdFire.com. Check that out if you are interested in reading a daily dose of something a little bit more than Fox News, CNN, oh my God, Tina, did you hear what Ann Coulter said type of stuff. And he also has a photo gallery because he's a professional photographer, so you can take a break from that. AcademicComposition.com. Go there if you want somebody else to write your papers for you, or you would like to write papers for other people, all in exchange for money. Alex is always hiring, and he's always looking for clients, so you can go to AcademicComposition.com. Contact him, let him know the captain sent you, whether you want to be an employee or a client. The quintessentialist.blogspot.com. Check out that site, but then also check out his book, To Papa, To Patsy. That's that book where it's the collection of letters between Thomas Jefferson and his daughter, Patsy, that you were kind of surprised even existed because
I thought for sure it would have been done before. That was what surprised me, is that it's sort of like one of those ideas where you're like, well, of course, why wasn't that compiled together before? Yeah, and I guess it hasn't. So great.
It has not. And that's it. All right. The article I wrote, let's go ahead and do that.
Let's do a super chat first.
Oh, let's bang those out. Let's get those out of the way.
There's only one though.
Okay, good. Good. All right, just one.
From Dr. Khan blog. $5. And it's for me. Oh. Why does DT like Tom Paine despite being the original leftist?
Ooh.
And he's not it's sort of like the term classical liberal, right? All of these guys, all these founding fathers were considered liberal, as in libertarian. Yeah, as in the maximum amount of freedom. So I guess I dispute that he's the original leftist. He did sort of talk about, one of the things that he did talk about back then, though, was some kind of, he did kind of come up with an idea for Social Security, though, before everybody else.
Well, that would make him a leftist, especially back that far ago.
Yes. That was that out of all the things that he's written, that was one thing where I was like, huh? What?
See, that even predates Bismarck. And is like, well, we should have a old pension, because Bismarck was what, 1880s, 1870s?
Otto von Bismarck?
Yeah.
I don't know that if he said that or not, but I trust you. Yeah, so that would predate him.
Yeah, by at least a century and change.
But I think the whole idea of, back then, the whole idea of Social Security anyway was all these fucking old people were dying. Basically, they worked their whole lives and then died in the gutter. And
you mean like all of human existence?
Yeah. And so
let's go tax the other people that had hustle and appreciated that they were finite and worked hard and made something of themselves. Let's take some of their money and give it to the fucking normies, conformies, and inferiors. Was that it?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see where you're laying down, Cap. I see where you're laying down.
We're all about survival of the fittest. All these goddamn liberals and leftists are like, oh, don't help out the wounded bear. Don't help out that wolf. Oh no, survival of the fittest, survival of the fittest. But then when it comes to human, hey, it's pro-retardville. Let's give the most hapless schmuck who not only is not going to make it physically, but mentally has no incentive to work. Let's give him all the money. And then magically, somehow that's going to be different in the animal kingdom.
Right. Right. No, I get it. I get it. I get it. But Tom Paine, fantastic. How he attacked Christianity, it's beautiful. It's wonderful.
So you're more, maybe not his economic policies, but his social or political theories.
I mean, I mean, the way that he's such a rebel, I guess. I mean, he really bucked the system. When he wrote Common Sense, he kind of used the Bible to negate the idea of kings, right? And then when he was stuck in jail in France, he basically savaged the Bible and said, you know, it's full of holes, and there's a better way to live than looking at this book. There's a better way to kind of understand the Creator than looking at this revealed wisdom. Look at his actual creation, and what does his creation tell us? I want to sort of do a Age of Reason revisited. I've always had that kind of idea in my head for a book.
Yeah, you get to that right when you start drawing comics again.
Yeah, exactly. And but you know, back then they kind of looked at the order of creation and said that says something really great about God. But the more that we learn about creation, we might have to change our opinion of God a little bit. The more we learn about it, on how the universe is a very hostile place for life and is constantly trying to kill you. What does that tell you about God that created it, I guess? But
we need a government program to protect us from asteroids, okay? We need a government program to protect us from bad things. And if bad things happen, we need a government program to help people overcome those bad things.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look again at what exactly he said. Like, it's the left that points at that, though, because Thomas Paine is kind of big on the right and libertarians and stuff, right? And so the left will kind of take some of the things that he says and go, well, what about this? Look at your hero saying this, right?
Okay, so like Jesus was a socialist kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, I mean, that's what the left likes to do, is it likes to take, I mean, nobody that was that outspoken is going to be perfect in everything that they say, right?
Nobody ever is good. You can always find something that you can use against somebody, because after 70 years of life, you're going to say something, or you're going to have a unique theory all onto your own that someone will take out of context or completely within context. And I understand. And
so if he was there right in front of you and you were able to confront him about these little quotes or whatever about some kind of quasi social security system, I'm sure he'd inform you of what he really thought rather than how the left portrays it.
Well, I was going to say some 20-year-old philosophy student, but they wouldn't have read Thomas Paine.
No, probably not. Right. So Atham also, along those same lines, he just chimed in here for $2. What's happened to his 666? I mean, come on.
Well, that's pretty expensive. You got to admit that. That's a pricey, you know, and he can talk to us anytime he wants and insults us. So I can understand why, you know, he gets very loyal comments now.
He's very loyal. He's very loyal. And we appreciate his loyalty and his contributions, or you appreciate it. I don't get anything. So Atham says, how come no one showed up at Paine's funeral? It was because of Age of Reason. It was because he kind of savaged Christianity.
Was everyone that thoroughly believing in Christianity back at that time? There wasn't like one agnostic or one atheist, or maybe the token Jew that it was his buddy on the side. And was the community that Christian that no one showed up at his funeral?
I mean, he used Christianity to rally them to revolution and common sense, and then savaged it in Age of Reason. And even like Thomas Jefferson, I think by all accounts was not a Christian. People asked him to be, you know, godfathers to their children, and he would refuse because he could not in good conscience say, raise as his godchildren them in the faith, right? Like a godfather is supposed to you're the father of the faith, kind of. And
really, is that what it means?
Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah, it's not well, if something happens to me, you're going to take care of my kid.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
No, when you are there at the baby's baptism and you're the godfather, you're basically saying that if this kid has questions, I will help them in their faith. I will help explain things. I will help them raise them in the faith. That's sort of what you're committing to do. And so Thomas Jefferson could not in good conscience do that, but he loved going to church, kind of like how you do, where there was a lot of good intellectual meat
Oh,
in some of these
there's
sermons. He was
tons of it.
always
Yeah.
looking for it. Thomas Jefferson was always looking for a good sermon to go to.
I
He
have
was
10
not a
sermons
Christian.
I have 10 sermons on my phone right now through Ligonier Ministries, and the reason I like them is they delve into the history and the logic and the philosophy, and they don't. They're definitely more. There certainly is fire and brimstone, but it's not the touchy-feely hippy-dippy, the Lord loves us all, man. And there's no politics. It's just, what does it say in the scripture? They're basically Calvinists is what they are. So I can appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's why no one showed up. Dr. Khan donated $5 again.
All right, I'll take it. Here we go.
Because he wants to attack me about my
That's great. That's it. Oh.
Well, he's not attacking, but he said Tom Paine was a leftist even on 18th century standards. I mean, Jesus was a leftist too, I guess. I mean, if you're fighting against a system that is like complete control, monarchy type of thing, and you're saying no, people have rights, I mean, that's going to be seen as kind of a leftist thing. So.
Is there a place
and the fact that he was so against Christianity, I mean, that automatically, I'm sure that's why a lot of the people on the left do like him, because when you think of kind of the traditional right, it's a bunch of conservative Christians or whatever. So,
what is there a place, like, let's say you happen to be a lazy person who hates reading? Is there any place you could go to read some basic stuff about Thomas Paine and his basic philosophies?
I'd probably just check Wikipedia, I guess. That they probably got a really good write-up on him.
Okay, all right. But not like, oh yeah, there's this YouTube for lazy people where you're like, oh
no,
yeah,
I haven't. You might want to look up deism. Deism will reference Thomas Paine a lot.
Okay, all right.
And so that would maybe be a good source, because he was, I think the deists kind of credit Thomas Paine as the original deist. That he was he's kind of the shining example of what deism meant back then. And there's a whole debate on how many of the founding fathers were actual deists. Deism was kind of the trendy thing to believe back then, because it was kind of rebellious, right? I mean, the kings would say, hey, the Bible says you're supposed to respect authority. I'm the king. Respect my authority, right? I mean, that's how that was the king's argument. The King of England was, I believe, like the Pope. That was the whole Anglican Church, was that the king didn't think the Pope was worth a shit. And so the King of England then became second in line behind Jesus. As far as,
didn't King Henry VIII say, fuck the Pope and do the Church of England or whatever?
Yeah. And so the whole idea is that the King of England then became like the Pope as in the Anglican Church.
How convenient.
So, yes, exactly. So, this
is great. I'm just going to have you talk politics. No, I'm sorry, religion and philosophy and English history, and make me a shit ton of money. This would be great.
So Bacon now has weighed in, not on deism or Thomas Paine or anything, for $2.23. Thank you, Bacon. Our mostly black listener.
I thought he was half or less than half.
No, he said mostly black.
Is he mostly? Okay.
That's what I thought was so funny. Is he said I'm mostly black. Cappy, monthly reminder to update the MP3s. Ha ha ha.
Oh yeah, I got to do that. Yeah, I'll do that. That's on olderbrother.com/podcast. I got all the links there. I kind of insist on doing it, admittedly with a bit of procrastination, but nothing pisses me off. It was happening 3 days ago. The GF was taken off. Well, I was trying to find some good religious podcasts, and I'm not even necessarily about sermons. I'll take seminars or lectures, more theologian type of stuff. And I'm like, babe, what do you recommend? So we're going through like RefNet, all these other sites, and God damn it, podcast pastor should be a thing, because you can't find the MP3s. Everyone's like, you got to
Right.
play it in our special app.
Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
play it on this screen. You got to play it where your phone is going to burn through its battery because the screen needs to be on the entire time. Otherwise, it won't. And I'm like, how hard is it to put an RSS feed together or put together an archive of a bunch of MP3s so people can just go boom, 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 download them and listen to them? And they don't do that. Like, they want to spread the word of God, but they sure damn do make it tough to listen to a good theologian seminar or something like that. So that's why I try and offer the podcasts all in MP3 and YouTube and RSS and all that.
Well, it relates to laziness, right, Cap? Because when you're posting a post and you post your MP3 or whatever, the default way that it posts is in the player on your website, and you actually have to create a link separately if you want to provide the MP3 as you.
Yes, I know that.
It takes that extra step. It's laziness, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think you gain another 10 or 15% of an audience. And see, here's the thing. I've never understood people like, oh, I just throw on YouTube. And I'm like, okay, so you have to be within 10 to 15 feet of your computer's speakers because now you're anchored there. Like,
right.
I do not understand why there aren't, let's say you go for a walk. I don't understand why everybody doesn't have headphones in, because you can be listening to so much information and knowledge and data and wisdom and doing homework and while you are working out and running errands and all this other stuff. I even bought a special.
I'm the exact opposite.
Yes, it's given. You and I are the opposite. Yes.
I'm exactly the opposite. I always see people with headphones in, and I'm like, don't you want to like listen to the birds or something, man?
You've been listening. What? We gonna forget what birds look like?
Just be alone with your thoughts for a little while,
I do.
Don't need this constant input. Don't need this constant,
But that helps my thoughts down the road. I'm not listening to Jizz and the Five Jizzaroos.
No, I get it.
And I know their latest album, Fuck the Police with a Baseball Bat, or whatever they're coming out with now for rap. I'm not listening to that. I'm listening to philosophical, historical stuff. And I do have my own thoughts. But I don't understand where many people on our side, and I won't mention names, but I'm just shocked. I'd have to say at least 2/3 of the people in our realm, our sphere of the interwebs, they are kind of the mindless, I'll just throw it on and listen to it in the background. And it's like, well, don't you want to listen to it on your headphones? Or then you can take it while you're driving or hiking or working out. Nope. It's on YouTube. So it's like, all right, it's on YouTube. But then it's also for that 30 to 20, maybe 15% where you can download the MP3s very conveniently. And it's right there.
Right.
Done with super chats?
No more super chats. No.
Cool.
I was called a fedora.
What?
Yeah. I can't remember what that means. It's like I'm secretly a leftist or something.
How are you called a fedora?
Yeah, Dr. Khan says DT is also a fedora.
Oh, he's just giving you a guff. No,
I know he's giving me guff. I was trying to remember what that is. I know it's like and you like fedoras, so
no,
like actual fedoras.
Actual fedoras. No, what we're talking about? Okay, there's the real fedoras that I wear. Humphrey Bogart wore.
Exactly.
All the guys in the 40s and the real classical American men wore. Those were fedoras. Then I think it wasn't the 60s or whatever, but there's like pin hats where the brim has really shrunken down, and I don't know why they call it a fedora, but they still do. And there was a bunch of guys not too long ago. I'd say this is going about a decade old now, but like when the millennials were in their 20s, all the soy boys, fat boys, and nerds, douchey guys, they thought, well, I'll wear a hat and I'll be sexy and cool and be unique and different. And then girls will go out with me. And basically it was a way to not work out or actually become masculine. It was using fashion. Think of it as skinny jeans, or these pussy men, not gay men, these pussy men, if you can call them that. I thought the fad would go away where they have these slacks, but they're tapered to above your ankle. And then they have brown shoes with socks that cover. You can still see the skin. And you know what I think when I see those guys, aside from kill them now, is how skinny their legs. Am I a thick, burly guy, DT?
No.
But I look at their legs and I'm thinking, if I hit it at the right angle, I could break that motherfucker. Maybe if I even punched it, because if they're that thin, these guys are that weak, and they dress up thinking that's going to compensate for everything. Like these perfectly groomed little pussies. And they got the sport jacket with kind of the micro plaid, the small plaid buttoned shirt. And and every time I look at their legs, I was hiking. So you see these little wiry, and they got to be 30. They're not in their 20s anymore. I'm looking on there and they're flamboyant. Again, I cannot emphasize this enough. They're not gay. They're just wimpy, girly men. And I just look at their appendages. I'm like, I could break those. And I'm not a big guy.
The non-matching socks. Yeah, you break their ankles and their non-matching socks would just flap around.
Yeah. And I saw guys in sweatpants, but even the sweatpants were tailored down on the bottom of their legs.
There was this whole, it was like a fashion style that was like, see how much I don't care. And it would take them, I'm sure they thought about it all the time. Thought about how they could dress to show that they don't care. Right?
Yeah, but they do that, and then you get the hipster thing with the salmon jeans, where it's like, yeah, you do care, and you're all conformists. You're the opposite of what you.
Oh, that's what I mean. But the style itself was to kind of be like, oh yeah, I'm wearing these clashing. You know, the socks don't match. See, I don't care. My socks don't match. I don't care. But I'm going to purposely make sure that you can see my socks and know that I don't care. Yeah. But it took me 15 minutes this morning to pick out, you know, one pair that kind of looked pretty good with the other one to show I don't care that they don't match.
Yeah.
I hate that whole fucking thing.
If you truly don't care, you'd be wearing what I am right now.
Me too.
Splotched sweatpants, the used running shoes that I got used over at the gym because they recycle, like, oh, save the environment. This is one time I could get behind the environment. Because you got some real elitists and a lot of fashionistas at the gym. Like, they don't go to the gym to work out. They go to there to look good. So once their shoes start getting a little bit dirty or they're not brand new, they'll throw them away. So I'm like looking at the tread of these used shoes, you know, save the environment, donate some shoes. Like, these still got some good tread on them.
Right.
So
as long as they don't smell. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some other guy's shoes. I got socks. I got my other sweatshirt on, and I look like crap.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't care how you look, you just go out and you buy clothes as quickly as you can that fit decent, and you wear them. That's you're not spending a bunch of time trying to figure out your fashion and how you're expressing yourself. And, you know, I mean, if you're growing a beard, you're growing a beard because you don't want to shave.
Don't want to shave, yes.
Then there's guys that grow beards and they manicure them and they wax the mustache and they, you know, what? No, that's not how you grow a beard, dude. You're doing it wrong.
If you have a beard grooming kit, I love those. Like, they have beard oil and this and that. I'm like, dude, fuck you. Just
all you need is the clippers. Like, when I had a beard, it would get too long, and so I just had a clippers to clip it down. You put the fucking attachment on it, you run it over your face for, you know, a minute, and you're done. That was the extent of beard grooming. But there's a whole art to it, I suppose. And I'm just going to show I don't care. I'm going to show that I got a beard and I got long hair and I got this. I just don't care. I wear these kinds of clothes. I don't care. But they spend every moment thinking about how to look like they don't care.
Right. Well, I could give like a Harley rider or the ZZ Top guy. Well, maybe not ZZ Top, but, you know, the old traditional, look, the guy's got a beard, or maybe he's bald and that's why he grows the beard. I can understand that because it adds to your character, but it looks good on you. So I could see where you're kind of growing a beard. But when you start combing your beard and what's the word I'm looking for? Sculpting it.
Yeah, it becomes more work. At the moment it becomes more work to maintain your beard than to shave it off, then you're not growing the beard for the right reasons, in my opinion.
Right. You're doing it because, like,
it's just like you're shaving. I mean, it takes as much work to shave your face every day as it does to to wash this beard and comb it and whatever the hell you're doing to it. So
I'm actually growing my beard out in anticipation of coming back to the Twin Cities.
Yeah, right. To protect your face.
Protect my darn right. Yeah.
One last thing I wanted to say, this Dr. Khan, he's really I just want to make sure that people understand with my whole Thomas Paine, since he did donate $10 to Aaron Clary.
Oh God, I'll buy you dinner. Jeez, you're about as bad as Chad.
But he says that my DT's left-right spectrum is all whack. And I don't know where he's from. Maybe he's from Europe, where left and right means something completely different than here in the States. In Europe, the left and right, where it came from, I think it was in Parliament, the left side of the chamber were the communists, and the right side of the chamber were the fascists.
Working people.
Yep.
Oh, the fascists. Oh, okay.
The fascists, yeah. And in America, that does not compute. Our right, at least what our right should be, is libertarian, is the kind of maximum personal freedom.
I call them producers, but you can call them whatever you want.
But yeah, my definition of the right would be maximum personal freedom. So I would consider anarchists about as far right as you.
Yeah, that'd be the far right extreme.
Yeah, and then far left would be communists, fascists, basically total government power. So that's why I consider Thomas Paine on the right, is because he's for maximum personal freedom. Usually, maybe in a few instances he's not, but overall that's what he advocated for, which is why he was in France trying to get them to rebel against the government there, and it didn't quite turn out the way that he wanted it to. But that is my definition of left-right. I do not buy into the which is what the media and what the left does here all the time, is they'll say, well, we on the left, okay, we'll accept Stalin if you accept on the right Hitler.
But they're not. But they were economically identical.
Yes, exactly.
That's why.
I'm sorry, Hitler is not one of our guys. He's one of your fucking guys on the maximum government control. Thank you very much.
Right. No, I will once again say it's producers and parasites. That's all it is. You want a group of people who don't want to work, and then you want the people who want to work and be left alone and have the fruits of their labor. That's how simple it is. I've never understood how people make it more complicated than that.
Well, that's a great segue to
your
article.
Thing. Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you. You're one of the 5 people that read the damn thing.
I know. That's why I wanted to talk about it, because this article, it was maybe a little lengthy, but the point that you made crystallized things in my own mind. And yeah, if people shy away from it because it's 18 pages long, I don't want this wisdom lost on people. I think it's an important point. So
the article, I'm glad that was your observations about the article. Thank you. That's no.
Was
there more to it than that?
No, that's the opening. That's the opening little intro there, Clary. Okay. I'm leading into it here. But the article is titled on captaincapitalism.blogspot.com. As I scroll to the top here, Sanity is the future of wealth. And it's got that person that screamed, no, when Donald Trump was inaugurated, which is a great meme.
Did you know that's a woman?
Yeah, I used the word guy.
No, I didn't know. I thought it was a guy, and it turns out it was a woman. I'm like, God dang.
Well, that's how bad guys look now, right?
And how bad women look, apparently, too.
Remember Pat? Remember Saturday Night Live when it's actually funny? Yeah. They're all Pat now. Like guys and girls. They're fucking Pat.
I wonder if those have been banned from the SNL archives. Probably. Like, the Looney Tunes, those are going to be banned as well. They will be.
They're all Pat. So the point that you make in this that I think is great is that we've said it a lot on this podcast, and I've said it on my podcast when I was podcasting, and people do say it. People do kind of recognize that today the poorest of us are living better than the kings in the past, right? Sure. That's sort of we are rich by any historical standard, all of us. And you make the point that the differences between the wealthy and the poor are sort of, they're
truly petty.
Yeah, they're incidental. They're like, the rich got running water, the poor got running water. The rich got heat, the poor got heat. And it's just different kinds, maybe different kinds of transportation, different kinds of food, different kinds of entertainment. But we've all pretty much got the same stuff, and it's not really that big of a difference between the really expensive stuff and the reasonably priced stuff, right? That's sort of the point that you're making. So you're making that that we have sort of achieved
a post-wealth society. Yes.
Even though you kind of speculate in the future that there might be this unlimited wealth society that could develop, we're sort of already there. Where at least we're really, really close to there in America anyway. We're really, really close.
Correct.
And so you go on to say that since, and I'm sort of short circuiting here because that's how it kind of happened in my brain. People understand that. People understand that it's sort of a marginal difference. Now, if you're trying to redistribute wealth, you're not going to be that much better off, really. And while they may not recognize it consciously, I think they recognize it unconsciously. And so all of these other, quote, inequities, they are seeking to equalize, like beauty, like you said, the fat is beautiful or big is beautiful, intelligence, skill, everything else that sort of is a defining characteristic beyond just how much money you have and what kind of things that you own. That's why all these people are going after that. And to go after that and to try to say that all those things, that they're actually not differences, that I can be ugly and I'm just as hot as Brad Pitt.
Right. Or they're trying to, in addition to transfer wealth, which can be transferred, because they're eternally lazy and they're eternally jealous and petty and egotistical, they're not going to simply settle for wealth. They're going to want to be equal or superior in all regards. But since you can't redistribute beauty, you can't redistribute bench press gains, you can't redistribute height, they're going to do anything and everything impossible to eliminate such concepts or to redefine such concepts, or to even villainize such concepts, so that in the, quote, real world, or at least their own minds, they're equal or better.
Exactly.
Right.
And so and then you make the point that the people that are actually buying into that, because it's not reality, they are insane. To convince yourself, to make yourself feel better about your ugliness, your stupidity, or whatever it is. Since you've already achieved, since you're so comfortable that you've basically already achieved material wealth equality, really, is I think the point that you're making.
Right.
That they're seeking out these other things that are making them feel less than, that are making them feel envious, and trying to rectify that situation by redefining things or villainizing, like you say. And that is what drives them insane. That's why it seems like the world is going mad, because they actually are going mad and rejecting reality. But the thing that I loved about it was that I've never put together that the cause of that madness is the fact that we have reached that wealth parity. Really.
Right. We have so much wealth. We have so much wealth. To give you an example, they're banning plastic bags in different places. Like that's the level of wealth that we have, that the big problem is plastic bags. Or another example would be the wage gap, where it's like, no, there is no wage gap. You women got to quit majoring in stupid shit. No. There's a wage gap. There's a crisis. There's an emergency. The crusades that people go on are so truly petty and also based in not reality, also based in falsehoods, but it gives them something to complain about and to feel good about themselves. But yes, that's how good we got it, that you can major in fucking shit. There's some gal that was getting her doctorate in Dungeons and Dragons. There's another gal who was the Huffington Post gal, that Chloe Angel, who had her thesis done on romantic comedies, a doctorate in romantic comedies. That's how good you have it. And so when you have it that good, you're going to, instead of getting a real job and joining the real world and maybe achieving excellence, you're going to find increasingly pettier and pettier problems to solve, or create them out of thin air, because to bitch and whine and complain about problems and claim you want to solve them with other people's money takes a lot less effort than actually going and becoming an engineer and working and lifting weights and being pretty.
And makes you feel equal to those people that have actually succeeded, or makes you even feel better than, because you're redefining, you're redefining what success really is.
If you deep down inside believe it, but that's where the insanity.
That's why they're crazy.
That's why they're crazy, because one, you're not basing your decisions or your value structure in reality. You're trying to lie to yourself about what reality is. And then the other thing is, I don't for a second believe 99% of the leftist, social justice warriors, Antifa, whatever group of people you want to say on left, actually believe it. They are so driven by their fear of work that that's more important to them. Their fear of work is stronger than living in the real world and actually having progress.
I think the point that you make in this article, though, it really is that they might consciously believe it, right? They might have convinced themselves so thoroughly as to believe it, but subconsciously they don't, because reality is reality. They see, oh, okay, I have achieved this kind of wealth parity. I don't have any problems really to worry about monetarily, but that guy over there, he's got a slightly better car. Get him, right? I mean, that's unfair. I should have that car, or he should have the same car that I have. He doesn't need that. You don't need that. And the other great thing, I don't know if you mentioned it in here, but where it made my brain go was that the argument that we've heard for a long, long time is that, maybe even Thomas Paine said it with his, advocacy.
Oh, here we go. Thomas Paine again.
Advocacy for Social Security, right? Or some kind of Social Security program, is that people from time immemorial have said that what's really holding back the human race, what's really holding back people becoming good people and the people that they really need to be, is want, right? Is that it's the fact that they're starving, that they're doing the crimes, or it's the fact that whatever, for whatever reason, monetarily, wealth-wise, Maslow's hierarchy of needs-wise, they aren't able to reach their full potential because those needs and those wants aren't satisfied. They're constantly having to just try to get
survive,
by, right?
Yeah, just to get safety, security, and food. Right.
The point you make here, it puts the lie to that whole idea. We've proven that is not the reason why humanity has fallen. That is not the reason why humanity does not live up to what it truly could be, because we have achieved it now. We have achieved this wealth parity, basically. The differences are so minor. We should be actualizing on a completely different level, and yet we're not.
Right.
We're not. They're still going after the small petty differences. They're trying to change reality. They're trying to force people to do things they don't want them to do, whatever. And so it just puts it disproves that whole line of thought, or that whole reasoning for wealth redistribution in the first place. It proves that it's completely a lie. That people are actually better when they're striving, rather than when they are have all their needs satisfied. So that was kind of the last little link that in my brain goes, oh, okay, yeah, this makes total sense to me. We've basically achieved this. Well, this isn't a future thing, like you say, and at the end, I think you say the future is now, where you do make the point that pretty much is what it is today, and that sanity is a commodity now because so many people are insane and trying to equalize what is not equal and never will be equal. And instead of trying to better themselves, they try to redefine the rules or redefine the measurement or bring somebody else down to their level rather than try to bring themselves up. And all of that is under the base assumption now that we have our material needs met. And so I thought that was my takeaway from this. I think it helped because I've always said we live like kings, and I've never really linked that kind of we live like kings to the whole Marx idea or the whole Maslow's hierarchy of needs idea that if that is true, we should be doing a lot better, but we're not. We're worse than we've ever been.
Worse than
really.
Yeah, morally. Oh yeah.
And I've said, I tell Mrs. DT, I'm like, we are the left, and the people that we really dislike are the worst human filth to have lived forever. Not because of what they're doing, but because they have no excuse. I mean, maybe in the past, there's a lot worse atrocities in the past that people have committed, right?
Oh yeah, well, they would
go
economic production was never there. Yeah, I mean, there was genuine poor, and not too long ago either. Yes, there was starvation, there was poverty. Yes, absolutely.
They
But
go
now
conquer nations.
when I see poor people and they're fat, it's like, fuck you.
Right.
It's just fuck you.
Right. I mean, there might have been worse people. Like if you're looking at what people did in the past versus what people do now, it's like, well, there's worse human filth in the past. Obviously, somebody that goes in and invades another nation and
Sure. Okay. The Hitler argument. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, kills all the young boys and right. But they like you said, it was a world of scarcity. That's what they were doing. They were trying to acquire resources. They were just trying to survive. Where now we've got that taken care of, and yet people are just so evil now. It's just they're filth, and that's the reason why they shouldn't be as bad as they are, because we're living in a world of plenty right now.
But here's the problem, and I made the point in the article: if you take away wealth from the grand point and purpose of the human experience, I think that only accounts in today's world for maybe 20% of human happiness or human experience. Because think about it this way. Let's say you got, take these fucking nerds in Silicon Valley. They have it all on paper. They make their $250,000. They got no student loan debt. They're at the peak of their game. They're in the industry. They're where the hot market is. Oh my God, you're in the city. Me and my stupid, dopey, ballroom assing self back when I was their age would have been the envy of them. You know why?
Because you're getting laid like tile.
Because I was getting laid with hot chicks on a somewhat regular basis. I was even Mr. Stud McQueen, but I was getting laid quite regularly and by different and hot women. Right. And my point with that is the non-financial aspect of human life. And I've always said humans are the most important thing in life. When you factor that in, all the left has ever managed to win, all they will ever manage to win in today's technology is, I think, 20%. They could get 100% redistribution of wealth. Congratulations, you got wealth. You're still a fat, ugly slob. You're still this tatted up, multi-pierced, ear gauge looking. I can't call you a whore because nobody's going to stick a dick in that. You don't have this gorgeous woman that I got. You don't have the happiness. You don't have the freedom. You don't have my physical health. You don't have my physical ability. You don't have Bob's bench pressing strength. You don't have Amy's natural looks. And I keep focusing on looks because sex is so important to the human race. But you don't have the talent to be a true artist. You're not going to play guitar like Matt Baldoni. You could, but you're too damn lazy. So the world is always going to constantly remind these people of how inferior they are. So they could get all the money in the world. They could be all the Ocasio-Cortezes in the world, and they can dance, and they can have googly eyes and big-ass teeth. You'd be, oh, my God, is it an alligator? Oh, no, it's just Representative Cortez. Don't worry. She just wants your money. You could have, everybody have that perfect financial dream. The fact still is Ocasio-Cortez is an inferior human. She's not going to beat us in our Fitbit competitions with me and Atham. She's not going to surmount mountains. She's not going to paint anything beautiful or pretty. She's not going to write an opus. She's not going to write a book. All she's capable of doing is parasiting off of other people and fanning the flames of jealousy.
Whipping up the mob. Yeah. She whips up the mob
for her own financial enrichment. But you take financial enrichment away, what does someone like that have? And she is actually one of the better looking leftists out there. Yeah. You grab any one of these SJW types who take value in their tattoos, their worthless degrees, their pink hair, and we're not talking the little funny girl who's 15 years old at high school who has pink hair. We're talking the 45-year-old woman who should fucking know better. These people are so into themselves and so lazy, they offer nothing of value to other people, and they deny themselves the human interaction and human attention that would otherwise be conferred upon or rewarding greatness, achievement, and accomplishment in the form of other forms of achievement. So, okay, Matt played a great song. Oh, dude, you should have seen it. Did I ever tell you about when I saw Baldoni just open up full guns blazing on his guitar one time?
I've seen some YouTube stuff of him, so I know he can rip it. Yeah.
I'm at a bar. We're just at this bar. Okay. It's a low rent bar. And so he's playing in the band, and they let him start playing. Dude, this girl on the dance floor had to have creamed her shorts. She was so blown away by him and so into his ability to play that no leftist is going to achieve that. Not one. Not one. And there will always be this constant non-financial reminder of leftist inferiority unless leftists decide to get a fucking work ethic and start excelling and kicking ass and taking names and producing something of value. But it's almost a mutually exclusive event because it takes work. And what defines leftists? Right, what is the number one word that also starts with an L that defines leftists?
I know. I listened to the beginning of your Chad Elkins podcast.
And it's called, well, for the benefit of any new listeners.
I know the answer.
What's the answer?
It's laziness.
Lazy. Yeah. And so lazy people will forever be in fear. They will never accomplish, and they'll always be jealous. And so now their option is work, which they're not going to do. They can't. They're lazy. Or go into the world of insanity and tell me big is beautiful, whatever other fucking lines they're going to. And so, yes, that, and as increasing percentage of the population breeds leftists and defeatism and victimhood ideology and thought, no, blame that group of people over there or that sex or gender over there. As an increasing percentage of people of not just the United States, but the world in general grows that way and get further and further untethered from reality, the people who are like, yeah, I got a hot wife. Yeah, I got some anchored kids raised in a nuclear family. No, we don't have the autisms and the Asperger's and the hood-to-hood-to-huz and the social anxiety disorders and all these other excuses that we give our kids because we're shitty parents and they don't know who their dad is. No, we got it way better. And it's, since your financial aspect has been taken care of, your Maslow's hierarchy of needs has been satisfied, you should just revel and be happy. This is why I talk about enjoy the decline and watching the misery of the left. It's great. Yeah. It's great seeing them in pain. They're like being tortured by life, and you don't have to lift a finger to torture them. Right. I know a lot of you would like to wage this war on the left to kill them and blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. Are you nuts? That would be a mercy killing. Let them continue to suffer. Let the New York feminist writers at Salon continue lying to the 2 million 30 to 40 to 50-something-year-old women who are all pros and professionals in New York, and they got their MBAs, and they have their master's degree, and they know everything, who cry themselves to sleep every fucking night, drowning their sorrows with some wine and some cats. Let that continue to happen. And don't for a second think it doesn't happen. The millennial generation, how much pain and agony do you think that generation is in right now? Because they couldn't get their heads out of their own asses and admit they were wrong. And to this day, continue to think that with the worthless fucking degrees, that they are smart and they got a future and they got hope, and they're fucking crippled with student loan debts that are growing at an exponential rate and will never be fucking paid off. You don't have to lift a fucking finger to get your revenge. You just have to be sane enough to know it's fucking stupid to major in communications. That's it. That's all you have to know. And that guys like chicks with what's the three? What's the three again, DT? What's the three things guys want out of girls?
Well, huh. I mean,
it's very easy.
Are you talking body parts?
Yes, DT, body. I'm not talking
big tits, long legs,
long legs, and a tight ass.
Well, we look at the face first. So yeah, that's been proven.
So big tits, long legs,
pretty face,
and a tight ass. Well, I think if a girl's in shape, I think anybody, if you're in shape and you're thin, you're good look. I mean, how many truly ugly people have you met? Like where they got a great body, but you're like, my God, that face is hideous.
It happens. I know some people like that. Yeah. That have a great body with,
it's rare. It's rare, but I mean, it does happen.
And that's not, the face isn't their fault. There's nothing they can do about their face.
No, or their height or anything like that. But yeah, everything else is totally within their control. But yeah, that was the point of that article, the 18-page article I wrote. So
yeah, I thought it crystallized things. I was thinking of things while you were ranting there, which was a good rant. One of them was, I wonder if you did a study on guitarists and the guys that were really, really talented, that could shred and that were very technically gifted. It's gifted is the wrong term because
Wrong word. They earned it.
It takes a lot of practice to get that way. I wonder if they are more libertarian, more R-minded type people than the guys that just go up there and strum some chords and sing the easy songs and all that. You know, the ones that take the shortcut on the music entertainment. Maybe they're good looking and they just kind of pick up a guitar and learn a few chords and have a decent enough voice versus the guys that truly put in the hard work. I wonder, that would be an interesting study, you know, the Matt Baldonis versus the Brian Adams or whatever, you know.
The music industry
Bruce Springsteen cannot fucking play his guitar. He's not a good guitar player, and he's one of the most leftist guys out there. So
right,
and he's had plenty of time to practice. I'm sure he just is like, why would I want to play like that? But I'm doing fine the way I'm doing.
Society, keep in mind, the masses don't reward true excellence.
Right. True.
Especially I'd say in the arts. Look at you too. What the fuck? How is that new? How is that popular?
Yeah.
But Bono, he's a leftist, of course. So like when it's handed to you, when it's like, hey, this is what the kids are listening to now, and you got that sound versus a true musician. I would think in general, everyone in the music industry is pretty rank leftist, but the ones who came up from nothing, I have a feeling, you know, they'd be kind of secret, you know, like Gene Simmons. Even though I guess he's not really a musician, he is more of a businessman.
There's different.
It'd be a very interesting study. I don't think we'd have this very easy linear spectrum.
No. But somebody like Prince, you know, Prince could really play the guitar well. I mean, he really was. He was technically rock solid, but he didn't do much of that in his music. So you just wonder, you know, here's a guy that learned how to do all that stuff, could play anything he wanted, really, but then almost kind of pulled back for what he wrote for the public. But another thought that came to mind was, you know, you're talking about AOC, Alexandria Cortez, right? And she was pretty hot in that dancing video. She wasn't eyeballs and teeth in that dancing video that made the rounds. She was TNA in that one.
but once you get close enough to her, there's kind of a face that would be pretty ugly. I mean, but
have you seen the video? Have you seen?
I saw the video. Yeah, she got a body. I mean, I can't stomach it because it's look at we're millennials and we're carefree. I mean, she's got a body. There's no doubt about that. But then you get up and the psychoness in her eyes show up. Like she's not eyeballs there. And teeth. Yeah. She's eyeballs and teeth. And just kind of like, no, you're not a good person. You're evil. There's something that cannot be true. You're not little Grandma Tilly who just wants to help out the poor. There's something behind those eyes that, you know, or it could just be Latina women want to cut people. That'd just be, no, I'm kidding. Mary Jo would get a kick out of that. She's like, I'll cut you anytime we pick her. She's like, Latinas will cut you.
The other thing that occurred to me during your rant was that sometimes the pain isn't immediate, right? Sometimes
like
the pain,
the pain of living in a lie.
Like, well, no, you were saying that, you know, you don't need to do anything. Imagine what the millennials are suffering through right now. I think it might be more of a delayed pain. It's kind of like the idea that eventually ladies will be cat ladies, right?
Yeah, their ego gets in the way. Yeah, and they've been lied to. They've been lied to the entire time. So they think they're like, when I graduated top of my class, blah blah blah. I thought it was just bad luck. Like I'm just having horrendously bad luck. And it's like, no, you were given the wrong information. Right. I mean, even I suffered, even though, okay, I'm not a liberal, but the concept or the premise or the point I was making that if you don't live in the real world, you will suffer immeasurably. I was not living in the real world. No one told me how horrendously corrupt the financial markets, or not financial, or the finance industry was. And no one told me that a finance degree was worthless. Absolutely no one told me that business degrees did not go anywhere. And then I ended up paying for that until I was quite literally about 36. Where my very last job, where I was like, no, I'm done now. You know, I kind of knew enough but that was the final where it's like, it will never happen. I will never work in finance because I'm simply not cut out for it. And there's no opportunity in finance either. So
a lot of the, I guess what I'm saying is maybe a lot of these people are in the ignorance is bliss stage right now. The millennials, you know, whatever, whoever we're kind of looking at and we don't like, right? And we wish ill on them. And you're saying, you don't need to wish ill. You just need to sit back and let nature kind of take its course. I guess we sort of operate on delayed gratification. And I think the way that many of them are going to get hit is like a delayed pain. It's going to be, they're going to wake up when they're 40 and go, shit, yeah, I completely fucked up, or wake up when they're 60 or whenever it is. They're going to look back on their life and they're going to go, fuck, I did it all wrong. You know, and I was blaming all these people who were trying to tell me, look, you're doing this all wrong, because it made me feel better at the time. I didn't believe in that delayed gratification. I wanted to be gratified right now. And so if you don't delay the gratification, you're going to have that delayed pain, and it's going to be tremendous when it hits.
And we cannot forget the exponential aspect of the pain, where the more and more you kick the can down the road, the more and more it grows exponentially. And most literally speaking to that would be student loan debt.
Yeah, right.
Or then you double down. See, a lot of feminists will do this, is they'll double down, or women with their careers will double down. Even men will, well, I got to get my MBA. They'll double down, go into even more debt, but then have no financial success thereafter. Or they don't pay off their student loans to the point I've read many articles now where women are in their 50s or 60s.
Right.
And I just got my master's in health administration. Like, bitch, it's over. You're not retiring. What the fuck is wrong with you? Don't
you understand? Your Maslow's hierarchy of needs are taken care of. You don't shoot higher, shoot for something different.
They were lied to. They were lied to ever since they were kids about you. This has been happening in the 60s. I keep hating to pick on women, but there's been no bigger group of people than women that have been lied to, where you're lied to about your biology. You're lied to about point and purpose and meaning and happiness and love on this planet. You're sold this bill of goods that, hey, you should go become a careerist, and your career is more. There's nothing wrong with being a careerist. Is that, you know how much I adore and worship Mrs. DT for being the professional she is, correct?
Yes.
Yes. But it's in substitution to love, husband, kids, family, joy, life. They actually got women to think that their career is the most important thing in life. And you never convince men of that ever, because men are like, fuck, work sucks. I don't want to do this.
Right.
But then with a guy, all he gives up is basically a career and finances. And that's it. He's got to work a lot, but women have the biological clock. Men can shoot blanks till forever, or not blanks. We can shoot live rounds till forever. Once menopause hits, ladies, it's over. And one of the most important things to most people, not all, but to most people in the world, having kids is done. So the delayed gratification, not gratification, the delayed ignorance is what you called it, or the delayed comeuppance.
I said if they're not delaying gratification now, they're going to delay that pain later. That's going to really hit them.
Right. And what I'm saying is, not only is it going to be huge and exponential and severe costs, they can't deny it by that time. I don't care how much they want to lie to themselves, especially the financial aspect. When that bill comes due every month and you can't pay it, or it starts to affect your credit and now you can't find a job. Oh, don't worry. The millennials know they're suffering pain right now because of the student loans. And the women, I think it may be a little bit more subconscious, but they'll be going out and partying and they're having flirtinis and and then they go home and they just start crying by themselves because they may not connect it because, well, there should have been a dick inside of you and not 40 different types. One, and maybe there should be some kids, and maybe you'd have a family, but no, you got the Sex in the City life, and somehow that's not satisfying. They maybe don't connect it, but they are suffering a pain. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, they've got their Tom Brady's that they can always look at and say, see, I can wait till I'm 50 to have kids.
She's 50 and she's fabulous. She's just fabulous.
I can have it all because this person over here is a genetic freak and has it all. And so I can have it all.
Jennifer Aniston is in her 50s. Thank you very much. And, we can just, and they practically have a river of vaginal juices flowing anytime some gal in Brazil has a kid at 63. Like, those articles that come out like, oh, woman, or there's a new technique to freeze eggs, or a new success in a test tube baby or something. Oh my God, George Clooney naked couldn't even get him to come as much.
Right. Yeah, it's their Tom Brady.
It's their Tom Brady.
See,
I think at the age of 77, I'll be playing for the Patriots. So I'm going to get my degree in football sports management, and then I'll go and try out at the age of 51. It'll take a while to become quarterback of the Patriots. If Tom Brady could do it, I could do it too.
Brett Favre was like 50, wasn't he, when he was playing?
But he played the entire time. Yeah,
I know, but it would be like, see, he's 50.
I'm sorry.
Tom Brady, there was Brett Favre.
I keep forgetting not to introduce reality into these conversations.
Yeah, exactly. You got to keep it unreal. Just keeping it unreal here.
Keep it unreal. Girls, you can do everything, and if someone tells you otherwise, he's sexist, racist, homophobic, and whatever other bad words you come up with them. There's going to be the tragedy and irony. Like at the end, I always imagine there's like this post-game analysis show. Like when you die, there'd be like God. And he's like, oh, here's your statistics. Oh, you played this way. You did that good. You did that bad. There's got to be a moment where these gals and some guys, minorities as well, who thought that all their problems in the world was caused by white people. There's got to be this point in your life where you're on your deathbed and you got to realize, holy shit, I wasted my life just getting pissed off and angry at other people. That's all I was angry. That's all I did. And I could have, what if I had tried to become an engineer? What if, okay, maybe it was whitey, but what if I, instead of bitching and whining about it, I tried anyway. And instead of working at Burger King until I was 50, I went as an engineer. And okay, maybe I only made 80% of what white engineers did, but I still brought home 60 grand. Would I have been better off? So it's just the amount of lives that are wasted and ruined is sad and tragic.
Well, even if there isn't an afterlife, right? You don't believe in an afterlife.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, you're agnostic. There is the distinct possibility, as science has proved, that you might have like an unlimited time in your own brain as it's dying to relive your life and think thoughts. The brain is still, yes, your brain is still active after you're dead for a little while. Yep.
Oh, for a little while.
And so it's like, well, maybe when your heart stops beating, you're kind of outside of time. It's like you're just asleep, and it's like your brain's still active, but it's not really. You don't know what a second is. You don't know what a millisecond it is, an hour. You don't know. So there is the distinct possibility that you might be alone with your own thoughts for a while. So just keep that in mind when you're making life choices. Do you want to relive, like you said, if you've got a movie playing in your head, do you want it to be a good movie or a bad one?
Mine's gonna be epic and heroic, because it's from nothing to da. And we got to figure. I mean, I'm pissed. There's no doubt about that, because I'd like the rest of the world to be a different way. But I at least know what's going on. Like I don't wake up, and I think I've done a great thing and a strong thing, giving up on news. I know everyone's worried about it. It directly affects your life and your future. You want to know, but where I've gotten to the point, like that was one thing I was thinking, like, oh God, I should go look up a news story in case. And I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. DT wanted to talk about this shit. And I was like, good. I don't have to look because what the fuck am I going to say? Hey, some more leftist dipshits want more of your money.
I could talk about news stories too, but
I don't care.
Like you said, there's only so much. I see news stories as mileposts. There are mileposts on the road to perdition, and you just need to know what milepost you're at, and there's nothing you can do. Cars driving down the road. You can just enjoy the ride, the best you can. So
yeah, I mean, a recommendation to all the younger brothers and sisters out there: instead of going to the news or watching the news or being on Twitter or whatever, go to the gym.
Exactly.
Go for a hike. I mean,
just put the fucking device down, except when you're listening to Older Brother podcast. But other than that, put the device down, go do something. Yeah.
And honestly, I think the best revenge is just being good looking and having hot chicks. I really think, or a hot husband. That really strikes at the core, because you damn well know these tatted up losers. And I want to delineate between the Jack Donovan tattooed up type of motorcycle riders who actually are masculine versus the millennial soy boys who work at Taco Bell and have ear gauges in the rings. Like, I want to differentiate between that. Those guys, they could vote for all the socialism in the world. They hate it. They hate it when good-looking people are having great sex. I mean, that's the number I'd say. Yeah, go out, be good looking, have great sex. That's how you get back at the left. Probably the best.
Well, even like you said, the good conversation.
Yeah, I mean that's almost to the God. I'm getting
intellectual rigor, all those kinds of things too. I mean, when you a good revenge, I would think would be somebody who's very well spoken as well, has interesting ideas that they haven't heard before, right? I mean, these people that just regurgitate everything.
No, they're not capable of that. No. You're definitely they're more instinct. They're more animalistic than that. They're more they're going to be more jealous of the fact that you have someone with bigger tits.
Yeah, that's probably true.
I mean, what? Oh, that guy talked to his girlfriend about Austrian economics and Mises. Damn, I really wish I had that conversation. Yeah, I don't think the ear gauge wearing fuck at Taco Bell is going to be really jealous about our conversation about Thomas Paine.
So what you're saying is that person's going to be jealous of Mrs. DT.
He will. But he's not going to be jealous that she's a professional, because I don't think he has the concept of understanding she's the professional.
They're going to be jealous because she's well endowed.
Right. They're going to be jealous because she's got big cans. Or they're going to be jealous because, dude, man, Clary got to ride his motorcycle all over the place. That's something they can understand. The concept of minimalism and the drawbacks that come with it, with the pros and the cons, and what is agency and what is purpose in life. I don't think they get that. Like, dude, man, the guy doesn't have to work. Right. He woke up at 10 a.m.
Yes,
I think that's the level.
Yep. You don't know how many times I heard, "Oh, you don't have to work," and it's like, one, that's not true, but that's all they see, right? Is they see the success as me not working when they don't realize there was a lot of work that was going on. It's a different kind of work. It was just different. It wasn't the kind of work that you're thinking of.
But they are capable of, like, I don't know. There's an element. Instead of me writing a post, like, no one's going to read the post that I wrote. But you know what is going to get a leftist jealous?
A picture of your girlfriend? I don't know.
No, well, that too, but me giving them the finger while I'm on the golf course, and it's 20 below zero, and I send it on a tweet. Like, the best revenge, like, Twitter would be I think the perfect cap for revenge. Like, if you can't, or you shouldn't, your response should not be more than 144 characters, because then it's too complicated and too nuanced and too intelligent for them to really get jealous. It's got to be simple, short, and sweet.
That's why memes are popular.
Memes are very effective. Yeah, the NPC meme. Oh, that was brilliant.
Well, and that's you put the mind of someone that can do really good, writing, really good philosophy, really good, structure an argument really well. That's the great thing about memes, is that the right has always been good at being logical, structuring arguments, being convincing, but it takes time, right? And so they've, of late, the reason why I think we've been more successful, I think, than in the past, is that we have taken all of that skill and talent and intellectual rigor, and we've focused it into something really short with a picture. And that's why the left can't meme. That's why there's that whole idea that the left doesn't know how to meme. And our, on the right, our memes actually trick all the censors, is that they don't get what we're actually saying.
No, they really don't.
These memes, the people that want to censor us. So
no, it was great, because there were two gals that they tweeted it out, and unfortunately they came across my Twitter feed where I'm like, oh, this one's getting a doctorate in Dungeons and Dragons, and the other one is getting her doctorate, and I just retweeted, and it was the exact same response where don't major in worthless stuff. Otherwise, you'll become a worthless person. Don't become a worthless person. Major in STEM. And all that thought of the head. This isn't worth it. And we need thinkers too. We can't all be engineers and doctors. It's like, yeah,
because
you're
it
too
doesn't
fucking stupid.
it doesn't require any thinking, right? To
No,
be in
no,
STEM.
no. Just the name calling comes out, and it's like, oh, it's too. You're just a jerk. It's like, no. Actually, I'm the nicest guy you know because I'm trying to prevent you from making a spectacularly bad decision.
Yeah.
But at the same time, god damn, it's so much fun. It's so much happiness that comes from watching these guys get their comeuppance. And I don't think I'll ever be tired of picking on the millennials because the millennials are going out now. They're no longer the in generation.
Right.
They're starting to get into their 30s. Now all the marketing, all the world, all the sexual attraction, all the real power in the world is now going to Gen Z because they're the ones coming up and online. And I'm wondering if the millennials are going to, they're going to be jealous, but are they going to be able to, at least they were in the limelight, at least they were getting some attention, but now they're going to be an afterthought and soon they're going to be in their 40s and no one's going to give a shit about them.
It depends on how large the generation is. The boomers have been the center of attention from cradle to grave, right? Because of the size of their generation. And now it's all about the boomers. It's all about them retiring. It's all about them getting out of this dead. They want to make sure they get out of it dead, not get out of it alive. They want to get out of it dead before they have to suffer any consequences for all their bad decisions.
Right.
And is Gen Z larger than the millennial generation?
No, dude. Didn't you hear about it was CBS News, I think. They were doing something about generations, and then they threw up an image and it said generations by years, and so they showed the silent generation 50 to whatever, the baby boomers, whatever. They completely forgot Gen X and went right to the millennials.
Yep. We're completely. It's never been about us. It'll never be about us.
No. And statistically, we're small. We're the smallest generation between the two.
They'll fucking get rid of Social Security and all that shit when it's time for us to get it, because we're a small generation. And they'll say, fuck you guys. The millennials will say, fuck you.
No, they're going to vote Democrat. They're going to vote Democrat because that's the way they've been told to.
Yeah.
But
the Democrats will be against it at that point. They'll be like, "Well, we got too much debt. We're just gonna have to."
Gen Xers only paid $20,000 a year in tuition.
Yeah. They'll get their quote revenge on us somehow. But
we don't. I would just say,
if Gen Z is smaller, I think the millennials are going to be like the boomers, where it's going to be about them from cradle to grave. It's all the focus is going to be on their comfort. Their existence.
What, the millennials or Gen Z?
Millennials. If the millennials are a larger generation, they'll suck up all the energy.
Oh yeah, no, they're. But what I'm saying in terms of the sexiness and where all the attention, like all the fame, is going to go. It's going to go to Gen Z because now they're the younger generation, whatever, 23 and that precious 18 to 24 demographic.
Right. Yeah.
The music's going to be tailored to movies, fashion shows. Who's this most? Think Britney Spears. When's the last time you heard anything from Britney Spears? Right. And then who's the millennials? Was that Amy Winehouse? Now she's dead.
No, that would, I think Amy Winehouse was a Gen Xer.
Whatever. Okay. My point being is no one's even going to be really paying attention to millennials except for themselves and their own writing. That's the only thing that's going to happen. And but they're not going to be marketed to by sexy marketing companies. They're not going to be sold to. I mean, shit. When's the last time you saw anything marketed towards a Gen X mom? I say, here's your Range Rover, bitch. Get the fuck out of here, and I'll take care of your kids.
There's nothing marketed towards us.
It's fine. We don't need it.
We don't need lifestyle lifts yet. We don't need reverse mortgages yet. All that's marketed to the boomers, and all the crappy fucking music is marketed to the millennials.
It's just no, it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful.
Should we finish up the super chats here?
Oh, we got some. Yeah, let's
call it a night. I think there's just a couple more here. Atham says for $2, DT got it right. Fascists and communists are left.
They are left, yes. And I could prove it because I've done a study on it, showing government spending as a percentage of GDP, but no one wants to hear about that now.
But we use those terms left and right, which actually come from Europe and their parliament. How they would sit in parliament. So
I gotta pee, so let's get through these.
Okay,
here,
oh yeah, yep. Okay, you gotta pee. Rita Bradford for $5 says material wealth is not true wealth. Without strong family community connection, we have nothing.
She is the mother of the Older Brother podcast. Yes. Good old Rita. We appreciate Rita, and she is 100% correct.
Yes, some kind of connection, even just a connection with like. I think you can be alone and be truly wealthy. You know, if you're okay to be alone.
If you're okay to be alone, that's a huge thing. There's very few, like, for example, Bernard Chapin, I think, is a person who can be happy and alone. I think Chris Beckloff, although he does live with his dad, not because of financial reasons, but I think because he's his buddy. I'm trying to think who are very truly alone people. They're very rare, very rare. And at one time they had probably had an attempt to have somebody in their life, but it ended in disaster, or that they're truly indifferent. Like they kind of saw the abyss and like, fuck it. Nope. I'm not doing this. So,
but somebody that likes to be alone, whatever family they choose to hang out with or friends or community, then automatically is going to be a good experience, right? It's not like, I think some people who aren't okay being alone collect friends as kind of it's almost like trying to, it's like a form of materialism. It's like the more friends they have, the better they feel about themselves, right?
Right. Yeah. They're not,
might be empty. Though they might be empty. People that get involved with all kinds of shit, but they're totally empty inside because they're not okay just being with themselves, right?
Right.
So
But at the same time, I think humans are meant to at least interact with one another. There's no doubt about that. And you look at isolation studies, especially some of these baby boomers, which again, I can't emphasize how fucking hilarious it is.
Right.
But it's getting so bad that the UK set up a minister of loneliness. The United States, we even dedicated some department head to look at loneliness. Because it does, statistically speaking, lower life expectancies, negative effects, and all that other stuff. But yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is rare to be a happy hermit, as it were. Yeah,
because they're lazy even in their loneliness. They're not doing that when they're alone. They're not doing the hard work, right?
Right,
figuring shit out.
I'm not saying. I'm saying there's a specific type of brain that's gets more satisfaction out of reading books, than going and say salsa dancing. There's a brain that just likes to sit and listen to podcasts before they'd rather go to like, for example, I will never go. My God, some of these meetup groups are horrible. Like, I'll never go to a social meetup group like where it's just social, like 50s and fabulous, or fabulous 40s, or the swinging awesomes, or hey, we're going to happy hour. Anytime they're like going to a happy hour at a bar, I'm like, nope, there's got to be an activity or something else here, like there's bowling or hiking or something else. I'm not just gonna go sit there and drink beer. That's not what's gonna happen. So
unless it's a beer aficionado group where you're actually, it's not about drinking a bunch of light beer. It's about trying different kinds of beer or something.
We're going on a micro brew tour.
Yes.
And there's Bob as a sober cab, and come join us. And it's $15. Then it's a little bit of an expedition, but yeah, when you're going to like, Cowboy Frank's happy hour, come meet other great, amazing. No, you're not great and amazing if you're going to Frank's happy hour. You're common, you're conformist, you're boring. I want nothing to do with you people.
Yep. Okay, I think, let's see. This is the last super chat from Dr. Khan blog again. For $2. For $2 this time. So he gave $12 total.
That's great.
Thank you, Dr. Khan.
Thank you.
Equality is a false god. That's his statement.
It's true. We should aim for equal treatment, but equal outcomes is a false god. That's a horrific policy goal to have. You don't want equal outcomes. You want meritocratic outcomes.
Yeah. And that's why they've changed it from equality. Like you said, once you achieve something like material wealth, basically everybody's wealthy, you got to change those goalposts, right? You got to, And so that's why the word equality, you won't see equality anymore. That word is gone. What you'll see is equity now. And equity means
yes, true. Yes.
Equity means equal outcomes.
Yep. Yep.
And so if, I do agree that this whole opening that door to equality the temptation to move right on to equity is huge.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And because that's the sort of easy answer. That's the placating answer that, if you're, I believe in equality. Well, this person's living in these circumstances and this one's living there. Well, then you're past equality. You're past treating people equally, treating the same rules for people to the same outcomes for people, which is equity.
Right. No, at one time, you could look at instances in U.S. history, I guess any history, but obviously the Civil War was one about equality, where part of the Civil War was about freeing the slaves. It was not, I would even argue it wasn't even the main part about the Civil War, but part of it was about freeing slaves.
Yes.
You look at the Jim Crow laws or the elimination thereof, there was some issues about equality. I would even argue some instances of feminism going back to the Elizabeth Stanton era, not the 60s, was about equality. But if you looked at the rest of American history, a lot of it, the founding was equal treatment of men. Of course, you had to be a white landowner for that to happen.
Well, that was just a vote. You were still equal.
I know.
Yeah, you're still equal under the law. Yeah.
Right. But now, don't give me shit like from 1980s on. Don't give me shit that there was one group of people being more poorly treated than the others. It's all been about equal outcomes and equity. And
once affirmative action hit, then it
then it's
equality anymore, because that's inequality. I mean, or affirmative action
that is racism or sexism or whatever particular aspect of human you are talking about. That is the different treatments of different groups is an ism, whether it's good or bad. Doesn't matter. That is using a trait of a human being to give them different treatment. That's not equality. That's discrimination.
And I think the main point, and there's a lot of talk like, oh yeah, equality is a false god, and so then they go straight towards inequality, like instituted inequality. Actually.
Oh yeah, institute. Blame it. It's unconscious.
There's a temptation, and I would just say that every good idea can be completely bastardized, and because humans take good ideas and fuck them up. And that's why equality was a good idea, and it's been completely fucked up with equity now. And,
my favorite. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I just there's this. I think sometimes people think that that's sort of like they project the outcome and they reject the premise, right? But the reason why the outcome is bad is because people suck, not because the premise of that idea isn't a good idea, like equality.
Right. No. People are horrendously flawed. The more and more I go, and as humans have evolved and the World War II generation has died, the average quality of the average human has just tanked. It's just tanked. If this was, 1962, I'd say, yes, okay, most humans are good. Now, fuck them.
No.
Fuck. Nuclear bomb goes off. I'm going to laugh my ass off to the bank. I mean, well, I'm going to go, but it was good to see these fuckers die.
They've revealed their true selves in their comfort, basically. They've had the time. They've had the time now that they're not just trying to survive. They have the time now, and basically the lack of consequence to reveal, to take off the mask, to reveal their true hand. And it's not good. It's not good when all their wealth, back to your article, when all their wealth, their material needs are met, they become who they really are, and it's not good. And
they all go major in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
All right. That it?
Yeah, that's it. No more. Yep, no more.
Thank you. All right, gentlemen, ladies, if you would, please like the video. That'd be a very kind thing. And if you'd like to help out the podcast, which means you want to help out me, I'll probably help out DT by buying them. Here, this is a way to get you to actually show up and be social. If you would like to get any of these shekels, if you'd like to get any of the donations, you got to meet me and I'll buy you dinner. You have to come out for dinner. I'll buy you a meal.
Can it not be 30 below when we do that?
Yeah. Oh, I'm not driving. No.
I'm not going anywhere tomorrow.
No, but like summertime when I come back to the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
Like when there's that text that you never checked, and I say, "Hey, DT, you want to come on down?" Like, no, I got some beer to drink, and I gotta go debark some wood. Then you're not gonna get none of your money. You won't have equity in the Older Brother podcast.
Okay,
see, you'll be denied equity in the Older Brother podcast. But if you're like, yeah, let's go out, live like, holy shit, what's this called? And he'll bang on the doors back at his house. Mrs. DT will open the door and he'll say, Mrs. DT, what is this? What is this? And she'll say, what are you talking about, DT? He's like, this. I walked out of house. What's this? She'll say, that's outside, DT.
That's fun. I shall say, that's fun. You discovered fun.
Oh, it's a scary and dangerous place. People might want to meet and go do shit out here. We don't want any of that.
It's that F word. It's the F word. Fun.
Anyway, if you want to help out the Older Brother donation shit thing and stuff, go to olderbrother.com/donate. And there's 3 ways you could give us money, essentially. One is by going to Patreon. Oh, which, by the way, I think I'm going to take the article that I wrote. I'm going to put it behind a paywall because I got so few hits and it wasn't worth the 3 days it took me to write it. So I'm going to put it behind a fucking paywall, in also part to test out how the paywall thing works on Patreon.
Oh, okay.
So I guess because I also want to see how that works. I'm like, yeah, this is a good enough candidate for anything to try that. So there's Patreon. You can donate money, blah, blah, blah. There's also PayPal. There's a PayPal link there. You can donate money monthly as well. If you don't like Patreon, most people don't like Patreon, you can do that through PayPal. You don't need a PayPal account. I don't know how many fucking times I had to, I try to pay a PayPal. I don't have a PayPal account. And it's like, did you enter in the numbers in the description and then hit next? Because then there's a button there that says pay with debit or credit card. And so I get so fucking pissed. You can pay with a credit card. You don't need a PayPal account. So you can do that as well. And then there's my preferred route that you guys, if you want to help out the shoe, is to do all your Amazon shopping through my Amazon affiliate program. That link also located at olderbrother.com/donate. All you have to do is to remember to get into the good habit of going there or my blog, captaincapitalism.blogspot.com, and clicking on the Amazon banner to do your shopping. And then I get a percentage of the cut. And no, you don't have to sign up for anything. If you already have an Amazon account, you just click and shop and buy. That's it. That's all you have to do. I think that's it. Anything else, DT?
Stay warm. Don't go outside and freeze your dick off. It's not for you, though. I'm
golfing tomorrow and sending so many pictures. Exactly. Gonna go ride my motorcycle and send so many pictures.
30 fucking below. I'm watching The Thing, John Carpenter, tonight. Perfect time to watch John Carpenter's The Thing. So that's how I'm gonna enjoy this polar vortex.
I'm gonna enjoy the polar vortex because I'm not even being slightly facetious or arrogant. Or bragging. I'm making the point that tomorrow and today as well is proof I was right. That's where I am going to do a little bit of bragging and get a little bit of revenge. It's just like, no, I was right. You guys are, hey, Claire, why are you such a tightwad? Why are you working so much? Well, motherfuckers, guess what? I guess you guys get to have piecicles coming out of your dick.
70 degrees, 80 degrees warmer in Las Vegas. What was it again?
It's 63. And yeah, so you guys enjoy your dixicles as your urine freezes off your own genitalia. You tell me how I had to loosen up. I need to take it easy. You guys all enjoy your fucking mortgages and your fucking car payments. I'm gonna go and golf and ride a motorcycle and maybe get some good food. So, amen. All right, with that, amen. All right, have a good night, everyone, and toodles.